Hello, team. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself and to answer all of your questions and sending me this assignment. So, I'm starting with the first question and answer of this question. So, first question is, can you give a brief introduction about yourself and highlight your relevant experience and candidate in outreach or HR? So, I'll tell you about my first organization. I was working with Expertrons. There, I started my journey as an HR intern. So, that was a startup based out of 2019. When I joined the organization, that was a team of 20, and when I left, it was 500 people. So daily basis I have to reach out at least, you can say, 30-40 connected calls, then reaching out through cold emails for the candidates and reaching out through LinkedIn, sending the, you can say, mails through a careers page, sending through job in, you can say, posting on jobs. So there was so many things about how I was reaching out to the candidates, doing the outbound procedure as well, reaching out to the competitors of the company, and reaching out to these competitors through LinkedIn, mass emailing, LinkedIn emailing. So these types of outreach I have done. Second question is, are you okay with working with the high volume candidate outreach and the fast paced startup? And yes, I am ready to do that because I have done it in my first organization, and I enjoyed this fast pacing learning a lot and very enthusiastic working in a startup where you feel very enthusiastic. What interests you about working with this stealth startup like ours? How would you see him contributing the role to success? It interests because there is always pressure on you. You have to be on your toe. You have to be on your daily basis. You would be handling a pressure that you have to close this number. You have to chase this number. You have to, you can say, complete this task. You have to complete that task. You have to do the finalize the candidate. You have to release the offer letter. So I like this because this is my learning stage and my growing stage of my career. So I like this a lot. That's why it excites me. It's keep me boosted, motivated, and every day there will be new learning in the startup, that is for sure. So that's why it's excite me to be the part of the startup. And have you worked in the high volume candidate outreach before? Well, if you remember, please describe. Yes, I have worked it. I have worked with the educational based startup, that was Expetrons. We have to hire on a weekly basis at least 6 to 7 resource. That is, I'm talking about the onboarding of the resource. So I have to make number of calls. Even I have my team where I have to onboard at least 45 candidates in a week's time. This was my and my team's target, and I was able to achieve this number as well. So this is the high pace volume I have worked upon. And the role was to hire sales and business development candidates, majorly for sales, team leaders, managers, assistant manager, individual contributors. And these was from B2B, so B2C and cam related roles, the channel partner related roles. So these kinds of role I was closing, majorly for sales. How do you stay organized and manage your time effectively when contacting to many candidates daily? Okay, so every day we have to plan our dates, not we have just jumped into the pool, but we have to stay organized because this is the, so it's making calls is not that difficult. You have to just sit in a one go 3 to 4 hours and you would be able to make your calls. So first thing is sourcing down the resume, and this cycle takes time. It's not the one day thing which happens, right? First day we have to at least give our first half for the lead generation part, because in the morning time maybe there will be less reactive to the calls or answers to the calls. So first half you have to be cool and calm for your just sourcing, and you're reaching outbound and collecting your leads, having your morning meetings, having your agenda and your day plan. And then in the next half you have to make sure that by end of the day you would be having interviews for today itself, or maybe the interviews lined up for tomorrow. But second half you have to completely depending upon your calling, and you have to make your task achieve at that particular day. And obviously that's how. And then the end of the day, if there is any candidate, you have to, you can say, reach out to a candidate whose next interview is scheduled, or you have to do one, you can say, CTC negotiation call or engagement call of your candidate. So this will be the end of the day activity you have to do. First you have to complete your task which needs to be done first, and then your follow-up task which needs to be completed by, you can say, EOD, end of the day. How can you share approach of crafting compelling message that grabs candidate attention and encourage them to respond? Okay, so these kinds of messages, obviously people will not respond to a message, hi, are you looking out for a job, and these types of things. But what you can say that hey, I'm looking out for a candidate, but your profile seems to be very interesting and I cannot resist myself to call you and just to text you. And I'm searching out for many candidates, but your profile seems to be very relevant and very, you can say, different profile from others. Can we have a quick chat for 30 minutes or 20 minutes? So this is the outreach message which we have to give to the candidate, where candidate will feel that he found something else in me, and I want to offer you a different role and a growth part into the organization. That's how you can drop a message to the candidate, that he will feel, you can say, different, that I have written that I'm looking for a candidate, but I cannot resist myself to call you first. And while screening candidate, what criteria do consider to determine if they meet the initial qualification of the requirement? Obviously, in the first level of call, right now, if you can see my communication, so first level of thing is the communication. Obviously, if you're hiring for any candidate, be it for sales, tech or non-tech profile, because if you're talking about the sales, communication is must, but any related profile, the person has to communicate to the client as well. So the communication is the most important thing which I look into the first things of the requirement. And then second thing is how he explain his roles and responsibility and about his experience in brief. The person has to elaborate himself, that what he was doing in past. That's how he would be able to elaborate about the company's product, or if you can say, if the person is going on the client side, so they can explain the client, or any developer. So how they are explaining, how clear their thoughts are, how clear they are in the things. That's for how we can be, you can say, qualifying the candidates, depending upon obviously their communication, how clarity they have in their job roles and responsibility, and how quick they are, how deep dive we ask about their roles and responsibility, and they have to give the answer very quickly, how clear they are about the role and the role they have applied for in the job, and their current company's product, and about their current company as well. So these are the qualification, the basic things which I need to see in the candidate. Flexibility. Startup often requires flexibility, adaptability. How would you handle unexpected change in the priorities or over workloads? So yeah, obviously it requires time, but if I can say that, I need to prioritize, right? It's the starting of my career, and prioritizing my work is very important. I know that personal life also, my personal life is also there, but I have to be very efficient, right? If the work is there, if I'm able to do the work on time, so that's how I can balance my life, right? So it's total depends upon me. If I'm completing my work on time, and I'm able to give the output which the organization wants, so there is nothing which I cannot manage, right, in the my work life balance. So it can happen, totally depends upon me and the quality of my work and how I am doing that. What motivates you to excel in high volume candidates outreach, and why do you want to believe that right fit for this job? So how it motivates me to reach out, outreaches, as much as I reach out to the more candidates, as much as interact with the different candidates, and you can say with the different job roles I'm working upon, so it would be increasing my thought process, my skills of judging, my skills of sourcing, even my skills of bringing the best resume into the organization and the best resource in the organization. So that's why it fits me. Being a recruiter, I have to be best in the sourcing, and it's a continuous process. It's not like 1 or 2 year you are able to learn sourcing, but it's a continuous process. If I'm doing a major outreach, so it will help me a lot in my career. So that's why I'm fit into this role, because I've done it in past and I perform exponentially well in my first organization, and I'm looking forward for the same thing right now as well. So that's all from my end. Thank you so much for your time, and lovely, I would love to interact with you, and looking forward for the same. Thank you so much.